in the early part of the 2000s, Hasbro's answer to the absence of the M.I.B action figure, the Marvel Signature Series toy line. Superior articulation, superior head sculpts, superior outfits, superior selection in characters. What happened to this toy line? Only around for a few number of years. And gone. Welcome, fellow collectors, to the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, I have a cup of coffee and I have a great topic of discussion for you today here on a Friday in the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. It's coffee time with M.I.B. And today's hot topic of discussion is what on earth happened to the Marvel Signature Series that Hasbro produced in the early part of the 2000s. Superior action figures at a superior price point, and collectors were getting what they always wanted, really from M.I.B, but as we know that during this time period, M.I.B had not yet returned on the scene, which left the door wide open for many number of toy companies to compete and vie for the collector's almighty dollar. And Hasbro, for a brief moment in time, put together a toy line that simply, in my opinion, laid waste to most other toy company toy lines of action figures, especially in the superhero department. The Marvel Signature Series toy line was absolutely phenomenal. So what went wrong, guys? I hope everybody's enjoying their coffee. We got a great discussion for you today. I might have to get another cup of coffee. This is a hot topic, guys. A toy line that has beautiful packaging, artwork, design. What went wrong? We want to hear the comments. We want to hear the opinions from all of our subscribers, our viewership. If you're just passing by and stopped into the museum today, pull up a seat, grab a cup of coffee, guys. It's coffee time with M.I.B on an early Friday morning here at the museum. The Marvel Signature Series, produced by Hasbro, was a fantastic toy line. The characters were absolutely gorgeous. We're looking at our Green Goblin action figure. These guys were right around 9.5 inches tall. They were taller than the M.I.B figures. Better head sculpts, better design, better outfits. Everything was better. Now, listen, guys. I am a huge M.I.B fan. This is not about M.I.B versus Hasbro Marvel Signature Series. This is not what this is about. This is about a toy line that, if it was still around today, would give M.I.B a very good run for their money, especially at the price points. And because Hasbro obviously has the rights to Marvel, or at least they had the rights to Marvel at this particular time period in the early 2000s. We're trying to figure out what happened to this toy line. If anybody has any information, because I dug and dug and dug, and I researched, I came up with a few things, but for the most part, the blanks still have to be filled in. A lack of attention to this toy line. The video game market, video game system market, was booming right around that time period. So your younger demographic had little or no interest in playing with or displaying action figures. So that left the older demographic, or the middle-aged demographic, the M.I.B fans from the 1970s that were all grown up, latched on to this toy line. I want to hear your opinions. What are your feelings about this toy line, the Marvel Signature Series toy line? I didn't find out about this because I was really big and heavy into G.I. Joes during that time period, so I was still trying to add to my G.I. Joe collection, and my museum hadn't grown and evolved into different toy lines. Not too many toy lines at that time period, but I do recall this particular Spider-Man, the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man variant. My oldest son was given this toy, or this figure, loose. It wasn't in the box. It was loose. He was given this toy and many other toys, but he was given this particular action figure, Spider-Man, by his grandparents. And I remember holding this figure in my hands and saying to myself, this figure is put together very well. The construction of this figure, the feel of this figure, the uniform, outfit, everything was beautiful. The head sculpt. I said, man, who made this figure? Because, see, I didn't have the box. So we didn't know. We just had the figure, which is another reason why I created the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. So you guys can see who provided this figure, how did these figures look inside their packaging. And just the one thing that came to my mind was how beautiful and well constructed this figure was. And I was like, man, this is not a M.I.B figure for sure. It was like on maybe a ball joint, like the feet were like on a ball joint type system. The hands, as you can see, were gripping. Everything about this figure was absolutely fantastic. Even the webbing underneath the arms, the design of the uniform, gorgeous. And I didn't give it any much more thought until maybe, 7 or 8, 9 years later, when I actually start to research these figures and add them to my museum. And naturally, this Spider-Man was one of my first ones. Actually, this Spider-Man was my first one. And then I got this one. This one's a little bit more expensive. Guys, what are your thoughts on the Hasbro's Marvel Signature Series? Did you have any of these guys? Do you know what happened to this toy line? If these action figures were in stores today, would you buy them? Knowing that you have you have Mego figures out in toy stores as well. These are all questions, guys, we want to cover today, but I just wanted to cover it with you guys over a hot cup of coffee and a hot topic of discussion. Beautiful figures. We don't know what happened to these guys. We don't know why Hasbro stopped producing these guys. The Daredevil figure, absolutely gorgeous. Could these figures maintain in today's market? Would they maintain in today's market against the Sideshow collectibles, the Hot Toys, the Migos, you name it? What on earth happened to a superior, absolutely superior action figure? The Marvel Signature Series. Our Green Goblin. One of my absolute favorites from this toy line. I have many of them, but he's definitely one of my favorites. Outfits, accessories, you name it. These figures had it all. Migos on steroids. That's what I deem these figures as. Superior versions of Mego action figures. And that's no knock on Mego. I mean, the quaint charm of Mego being so basic and simplistic is why we love Mego so much. But make no mistake, these figures are absolutely superior to Mego. Looking at our Black Spider-Man Secret Wars outfit. Another one of my absolute favorites. What happened to this toy line? Our Iron Spider-Man. Beauty, just